I'm really excited because Calgary-based improviser Jairus Sharif is here. He's live in the studio. Since about 2020, he's been generating a steady stream of passionate and unclassifiable solo recordings that forge unprecedented connections between hip-hop abstraction, cosmic skronk, outsider jazz, and post-punk DIY ethos. He's got a new album released in October 2022 called Water and Tools, and I've got to say it was really one of my favorite albums of 2022. It's strange and stirring, and he recorded that for Toronto's Telephone Explosion Records, which is got some great releases on it, including Brody West's Eucalyptus and Messiah and Joseph Shabazz. And so I'm really interested to hear how he got connected with that group. And I love his style. I love his sax playing. I love what he does with electronics. And I really love his message. So he's here now, and we're going to listen to some live tracks. Live, not even tracks, they're live. Jairus Sharif on Noise.
some selfish activity that pleases just you. Accept and enjoy yourself right now. Feel good when you indulge in some selfish activity that pleases just you. person really needs in life is not a tension-free state, but the striving and struggling for a goal that is worthy of him or her. That what a person really needs in life is not a tension-free state, but the striving and struggling for a goal that is worthy of him or her. That what a person really needs in life is not a tension-free state, but the striving and struggling
You're listening to CJSW 90.9 FM. This is the Noise Radio Show. My name's Paula, and that was Jairus Sharif's latest release, Water and Tools. And Jairus is my guest tonight on Noise. Thank you so much for coming in.
Hi, Paula. Happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad that you came by. That was beautiful set. Beautiful.
Oh,
yeah. You know, I think the first time I met you, Pharoah Sanders had just died.
That's right.
And we
talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about Pharoah, and it really does feel like you've got that ecstatic jazz channeling Pharoah through that.
Well,
beautiful.
Yeah, I love Pharoah Sanders. He's a hero of mine. So
for sure. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your setup there? You know what you're doing. You've got your sax and
so bells. I have all the backing music that you're hearing is coming through a loop pedal that I use down here on the floor. And then all the saxophone signal runs through a pedal board. I've got I'm always pulling things in and out of the pedal board, testing out different sounds. Of course, you can hear all my wind chimes.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Cholo, a large portion of my life is spent untangling wind chimes. I got my thunder tube here. And I got duck whistle. And then, my saxophone runs through the pedal board using a piezo mic.
How did you start playing sax?
It was really on a whim. I had been listening to a lot of saxophone heavy music, and I was getting really inspired to maybe try it out myself. And I went to a pawn shop, and the kid at the pawn shop played saxophone in band, and he was like, "Don't buy any of these." He's like, "These are all junk." And I went on Kijiji that day, and I bought one that night, kind of thing. So, I didn't even necessarily choose the alto saxophone. I'm very glad that I did now. I love it. But I just got a sax. Yeah.
So you're just inspired by the music you were listening to?
Pretty much, yeah. I had been listening to a lot more free improvisation and free improvised music in general, and free jazz. And I wanted to participate a little further. Yeah.
Had you been doing work with electronics before you started working with sax?
Yeah. Well, I like playing as like a one-man band for blues for a long time. So that was my interest in sort of the pedal board and making everything myself, like playing everything at once. But in terms, like I came up scratching records and sampling beats and trying to make hip hop, trying to participate in hip hop in some way. And I was really inspired by Madlib and his Yesterday's New Quintet project, which is a similar approach to what I'm doing now.
You just released Water and Tools in October. Can you tell me a little bit about that process and the tracks? And, you know, it's a diverse album, which is great. I like all the different kinds of things going on there. So just talk to me a little bit about this beautiful release you've got.
Well, my primary concern with, actually I'll back up a little bit. I released a string of EPs and an album in the year previous to recording Water and Tools, and the first 4 projects were titled Q4DB, which stands for Quest for Deep Breath. And basically I was trying to interact with myself on a truthful level, make music that I thought was beautiful and felt good to make. It felt good while I was making it. And I just made that for myself mostly, but a couple of the homies were listening to it and really enjoying it and encouraged me to put forth a bit more of an effort. And yeah. So that's kind of how I got started. And it was through the album after those EPs. That album's titled Mega Optics. It was that album that got the attention of Telephone Explosion Records. And I had already been recording my next project when they approached me to work with them.
Great.
And yeah, so really I built up the studio a little bit better. I bought some proper microphones, I learned a little bit more about tracking and what I was actually trying to accomplish. And then I set forth on my process, which is play truthfully and make things that make me feel good, that feel good to make. So that's how the albums came together. And the album wasn't made in order or anything like that. You just played Rawcom 43. That's number 43 in a series of probably near 100 improvisations that I have. I record all this stuff in my own studio, so I do all my own tracking, which allows me a lot of freedom to, just to do whatever I want. This is just an excuse to try my best and to make something beautiful.
Well, you do. So thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah.
It's great that was it like the COVID situation that you had all this time to be able to put out all of the Quest for Deep Breath and Mega Optics and
yeah, that kind of brought on the shift. I was playing weekly, rehearsing in a 2-piece band with a mutual friend of ours. Actually, she was on drums, and shout out to Dale. And when COVID hit, there was her drum kit sitting in our jam space, and I'd never really played the drums before, not seriously. But we couldn't really jam because we didn't really know what was going on with COVID, and everybody was kind of on high alert. So, I had that extra instrument at my disposal, and I started spending all my time in the studio. And it was I probably started recording for Q4DB within 2 weeks of getting the saxophone. So those first Q4DB songs are just a couple weeks in to COVID. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's a cool title given what we were dealing with COVID, but also speaks to finding that deep breath. There's lots of deep listening and deep breath and connecting with that peace that you're getting with the the exploration of the sax and the exploration of the improvisation?
Yeah, I kind of had the feeling that I wasn't really breathing very deeply very often as well. And so I was interested in honestly making music that could help me calm down and help soothe me. Like it was a wild time, more unpredictable than any other time I could think of. So yeah, the Q4B project came in just in time to sort of allow me to stay hard at work, but allow me to look inward at a time when we had all this more space to do so, I guess.
So for the albums, for the recordings, are you just doing things live or are you overdubbing? What's your process?
So there's a lot of overdubbing involved. I'm tracking. I just use digital tracking in the studio. So what I'll do is generally come up with some kind of theme, basically like what you heard me playing on there. Come up with some kind of theme and start improvising on the theme. All the saxophone pieces except for one are just one long improvisation in front of the mic. So if it's a 7-minute song, then it's me in front of the microphone for 7 minutes. And I purposely took the first take of everything. So everything you hear on Water and Tools is, if the energy hit me, I ran down to the studio, I pulled up the theme, and I composed the saxophone parts. Once I had the saxophone part, I would usually lay down the drums after that, just through headphones, listening to what I had made and sort of try to improvise around the sax. And there's usually at least one, but probably more like 4 or 5 percussion tracks of me just doing laps of the studio, picking things up. You know, I really like working with the energy on hand, and however it turns out, however it turns out is kind of how it is, and I leave it be. And the stuff you hear on Water and Tools is some of the best of that.
You told me you've got a cool project happening in Calgary, right? There's an outdoor event, was it?
Yeah. So that was, it was actually supposed to take place last spring, but it got postponed due to some life stuff. And it's entitled Freedom and Free Music in Calgary. That's sort of the working title for it. But what we're doing is trying to bring world-class skill sets to communities that may not experience them in Calgary. I mean, there's just a lot of underused parks. There's a lot of rental spaces. There's a lot of kind of city-supported spaces that in neighborhoods where I personally haven't seen a lot of live music, especially creative music. And there's a lot to be announced about that coming up. But for now, all I can really say is that we're trying to bring people from all walks of life into the improvisation idea, introduce them.
With all kinds of instruments?
All kinds of instruments, going from ambient. Honestly, at this point, it's actually evolved into more about the live improvised performance. So it can be anything. I won't necessarily be playing in all the shows. I'll play as much as there's space for me to play. But yeah, I'm hoping to also just have a sort of a socialization aspect around music outside of bars in neighborhoods that we that I'd like to see it in personally.
Yeah. Any particular place you're going to attack?
Oh yeah, well the number one spot is it's a place called Unity Park. And that's on 17th Ave Southeast in the Business Revitalization Zone.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that park. I like it a lot. I like to go sit in that park and just hang out. I mean, it's right next to the road, which will offer some other kinds of improvisation as well, right?
Truck noise.
Traffic instruments. Yeah. But trying to post up in community gardens. There's a place I used to see punk shows at called the Albert Park Radisson Heights Skate Shack. And so I've secured some space in there that they're going to let us use. And yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Any other projects on the go coming up?
I'm just getting back into improvising a little bit more. I'm going to play Bug Incision this Sunday with the ad hoc ensembles. But I'm, the response to this album was the album went a lot further than I had anticipated. Not that I don't think it should, but I just wasn't sure. And I've gotten a lot of offers to play festivals this summer. So I'm going to leave Calgary a little bit and go out east.
I wish you well. I think you're going to blow everybody away.
Thank you, Paula.
So good. So good. You played live. Was it Humility that you played?
No, or just what I just played now?
Actually,
that was just some improvisation on themes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Improvised one of the themes, but I brought the Humility theme to improvise too, as well.
Are you up for that, or what are you thinking?
Yeah. That's what I was planning to do after the interview.
Okay. Well, I think it'd be great to listen to you play again. This is CJSW. You listen to Noise. Jairus Sharif is the guest tonight, and it's just a pleasure to have you on, Jairus. You're just spreading this incredible love with your saxophone. Yeah. And your whole demeanor. So it's just a great joy to have you here.
So glad you're enjoying it, Paula. So glad to be here.
For sure. Let's listen to another of these Rockcom improvs from the album Water and Tools while you get set up.
Sounds perfect, yeah.
We'll listen to number 10. That's Rockcom number 10 by Jairus Sharif from his album Water and Tools. Really great to have him as a guest on Noise tonight. This is the Noise Radio Show, and my name's Paula. 9:30 in the evening, here we are. Like I said, CJSW can get us online at cjsw.com, where you can get all of the shows, podcasts, and you can listen live on 90.9 FM. We're going to listen to another set from Jairus. He's getting set up here. He's got his bells, his sax, his pedals. Here he is.
Thank you.
My guest tonight on Noise is Jairus Sharif, and he's played live here at CJSW. I want to thank him so much for coming on. It's great to have him here. And I really want to give my greatest gratitude to Daren and Cholo. They've been doing a wonderful job of sound. Really appreciate them being here. And Cholo doing some of the videoing. Hopefully we'll get up some of this video on the CJSW YouTube. It's so great to have everybody here. Thanks so much. Wish Jairus all the best in whatever he does, including this show coming up on Sunday, February 12th at Bug Incision. Highline Brewing, one of my best favorite places in the city. Really nice.